Welcome back to BikeFusion Hub, where we break down the hottest machines hitting the streets. Today, we're diving into a legendary reborn of the 2026 Harley-Davidson Iron 883. This bike has always been the gateway into Harley's world of raw steel, swagger, and soul. And for 2026, the Iron 883 gets a meaningful refresh while keeping the attitude that made it iconic. Let's get into what makes this updated Iron 883 a standout in the modern cruiser world and why it still holds on to the rebellious spirit that riders love. The 2026 Iron 883 keeps its signature low-slung stance, but Harley has refined the design in ways that feel more premium without losing that gritty edge. The peanut tank remains, sculpted with more pronounced curvature and cleaner welds, giving the bike a more polished presence. The classic blacked-out theme dominates once again, a blacked-out exhausts, blacked-out powertrain, blacked-out trim. But Harley added subtle bronze accents around the engine fins and wheel edges, creating a contrast that gives the bike a more custom-built vibe straight out of the showroom. Up front, the new LED headlamp blends retro curves with modern function, offering better nighttime visibility while still keeping the bike's old-school identity intact. The fenders have been slightly reworked with a tighter profile, giving the bike a more aggressive, compact look. On the dash, Harley introduces a hybrid digital-analog cluster, a central analog speedometer with a small digital info screen that displays gear position, fuel level, trip meters, and Bluetooth notifications when paired with a phone. Now, the heart of the Iron 883 has always been that iconic V-twin rumble. For 2026, Harley retains the Evolution 883 engine but updates the internals for smoother response, slightly better fuel efficiency, and more refined low-end torque delivery. The engine still pumps out around 51 horsepower and roughly 54 pounds-to-feet of torque, but the tuning upgrades make the torque feel more immediate off the line. When you crack the throttle, the bike growls with that unmistakable Harley attitude, vibrant, gritty, alive. The Iron 883 has never been a performance monster, but it's always been about experience, the sound, the vibration, the connection. Harley has leaned into that feeling but cleaned it up. There's less harshness at mid-range RPMs, and the exhaust note feels deeper and rounder. On urban streets, the bike pulls confidently, making it perfect for daily commuting or weekend cruising with attitude. On the highway, the 883 stays comfortable at 60–70 miles per hour, but push it beyond that and you'll feel the limits of the smaller engine. Still, the updated gearing makes highway riding smoother than previous models. The new 6-speed gearbox, replacing the old 5-speed, is one of the 2026 model's silent heroes. Gear transitions feel more natural, and the extra gear helps keep RPMs lower during longer rides. The clutch has also been lightened, making it more beginner-friendly without losing that mechanical Harley feel. Handling-wise, Harley has improved suspension travel at the rear and revised damping at the front. The old Iron 883 had a reputation for being stiff, especially on rough city streets. The 2026 version doesn't completely eliminate that firmness because honestly, it's part of the character, but it does absorb road imperfections more gracefully. Riding over potholes and bumps no longer feels like you're getting punished. The bike also feels more stable in corners. The chassis geometry is unchanged, but better suspension and revised tire compounds provide more traction and confidence, especially when leaning into smooth curves. Braking is handled by a single front disc and rear disc, now supported by Harley's updated ABS system. It's not sport bike brutal, but it's strong enough and predictable, fitting well with the bike's relaxed cruising nature. In terms of comfort, Harley has tweaked the seat foam density to make longer rides a bit more bearable. The seat height stays low at around 760 millimeters, making the Iron 883 accessible to riders of all sizes. The riding posture has that traditional cruiser forward controls, slightly leaned back shoulders, and a relaxed arm stretch to the bars. It feels natural and inviting, especially for riders stepping into the cruiser world for the first time. Now, let's talk tech. Harley doesn't overload the Iron 883 with gadgets because simplicity is part of its charm. Still, the 2026 model introduces optional smartphone integration through a Minimalist Bluetooth module. No flashy screen, no navigation maps plastered across the tank, or just discrete notifications for calls and messages. Traction control is also available as an optional add-on for riders who want a bit more safety without compromising the raw feel. What really makes the Iron 883 stand out is its ability to balance old-school soul with just enough modern refinement. Harley knows its audience here: riders who want emotion, character, and presence. This bike isn't trying to be the fastest or most high-tech. Instead, it's a sculpted piece of attitude that you feel as much as you ride. Customization remains a major selling point. Harley intentionally designed the 883 platform to be a blank canvas. The 2026 model supports hundreds of official accessories, from slip-on exhausts and handlebars to new tank badges, grips, and LED turn signals. Riders can easily transform the Iron 883 into a bobber, a cafe tilde copyright-inspired build, or a stripped-down urban cruiser. That flexibility is one of the biggest reasons the Iron 883 remains a fan favorite. And now the big question: price. The 2026 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 starts at around US $11,999, depending on color options and accessory packages. This keeps it firmly in the entry-level cruiser bracket, but still offers a premium Harley experience that feels worth every penny if you're craving that authentic V-twin lifestyle. So, should you consider the 2026 Iron 883? If you're chasing raw speed or advanced electronics, maybe not. But if you want a bike with personality, heritage, and a presence that turns heads every time you roll up, then absolutely yes. The Iron 883 continues to be one of the coolest, most charming cruisers on the market, perfect for beginners and veterans alike who crave that unmistakable Harley feel. Thanks for tuning in to BikeFusion Hub. Hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive reviews, and let us know in the comments, so would you ride the new Iron 883? Or are you looking at something else in the cruiser world? Ride safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.